Hello friends, in this video I'm going to talk about format and template for agree and disagree. So I have made many videos previously in that we have discussed about how to write agree disagree essay, and especially in agree disagree essay we have another category, that is to what extent do you agree or disagree. In this category, when I talk about to what extent do you agree or disagree, there are 5 further subcategories. In that either you say I firmly agree, I firmly disagree, I agree to large extent, I disagree to large extent, and I partially agree. Out of these 5 different subcategories, I have already made videos for the 4 categories, and this one was remaining. So I was getting so many requests, and especially yesterday I got a few messages on the WhatsApp, so I couldn't deny the request, and finally I'm going to share this template with you. And if you have not seen these videos previously, so you can visit our channel, the Australian Academy. Then you can visit the playlist, and over there you will find one specific playlist that says to what extent do you agree or disagree. In that playlist you can find all the other 5 videos, like what comes into what extent and what different categories are, and then there are different templates for these these subcategories. And trust me, these templates would help you a lot, and you can easily score 7 and plus band. But yes, whatever you are writing, that also should be grammatically accurate. So I'm going to start with this particular template, but before that, just there is a one request, that if you have not subscribed our channel yet, do it now. Subscribe the channel, then like the video, and if you like it, just share it with your friends so that they can also take advantage of it. Okay, so let's talk about this disagree to large extent. So whenever you are given a statement, and after reading the statement you realize that the ideas or the main reasons for disagree are much higher than the agreement. So in this case you should go for to disagree to large extent. And whenever we write disagree to large extent, so generally we make 5 paragraphs. In these 5 paragraphs, the first is for introduction, second paragraph disagree, third is again disagree, and we do give a reason, we do give an example into that, because without example we can never write an essay in IELTS, in fact anywhere. Then the fourth paragraph should be for agree, because whatever the agree we have might be a little one, but that little agree is again my opinion. And then conclusion, and in conclusion I would be restating my personal opinion. Okay, so let's talk about part 1 here, that first paragraph introduction, how you can write an introduction in this disagree to large extent. So you'll start like in the contemporary era. Now in this contemporary era, this means nowadays, these days, in the 21st century. So whenever I check the students writing, I generally find that they always start with in the 21st century, nowadays, these days. These are very old openings of essay, and in fact whether you're writing in the 21st century nowadays or not, but examiner is not going to be impressed from your writing and will not be giving you score that you are expecting. Okay, so don't write these old beginning, you should write in the contemporary era. Contemporary era means nowadays or these days. It is a moot point that. So when I say it is a moot point means debatable issue. So this is a debatable issue. What is a debatable issue? So here you need to write the question statement. So whatever the question statement is, make sure you read the topic very nicely, and you should know what is there something in that particular topic that is a point of discussion. So whatever the point of discussion you are getting, you need to write it here. Okay, now another question, should I be writing the same that I'm getting in the question over here? No, you cannot write exactly the same, because what happens if you are going to copy and paste over here, examiners they are smart enough, they can understand that this is not you prepared by yourself, you have learned it from somewhere else. Why? Because the question is copy pasted here. So whenever you get a question statement, make sure you change a few words into that. Just try to rephrase the statement, and whenever you are going to rephrase the statement, you have several ways. You can change the words into that, like use synonyms. Then if the statement is in active voice, you can change it into the passive voice, or might be you can rewrite the same sentence having the same meaning but different words. Okay, make sure you change it as your best, whatever you can, then only this template is going to help you out. Then after this first sentence, second we have is a significant chunk of society defies the notion. So when I say a significant, significant means a lot of, many, numerous. So when I say many people again go against. So many people go against. So this is a very simple version of it. Instead of many, I have written significant chunk of society. Chunk means group. So a very huge, a very major group of people in the society, they go against, defies. Defy means go against, oppose. They oppose this idea, they oppose the statement, they go against the statement, they disagree the statement. So don't write disagree, you would better write defies, D-E-F-I-E-S. Defies the notion. Notion means idea. The statement that we have written over here, because you need not to write the same statement over and over again. Writing the same again and again means that's leading towards repetition, and repetition is something that's going to eat up your score. Okay, so a significant chunk of society defies the notion means many people disagree with the statement, however, but the remaining members welcome the same. So the remaining members means when we talk about a lot of people over here, so whatever the left people are, you know, the small chunk of society, now they welcome the idea or welcome the same. So when I say welcome means they agree, they welcome it wholeheartedly, or they think yes, this is such a thing that should be accepted, that should be welcomed, or that should be promoted. Okay, then this essay of mine would shed light. Shed light means I'm going to explain. What I'm going to explain? My personal opinion, standpoint. Standpoint means opinion or viewpoint. So opinion is again a very common word that we keep on writing every time. Instead of writing opinion, we can better write standpoint. Clear? So this is your entire introduction. You need to write 3 sentences in your introduction. The first one where you need to add in the rephrase of your question. Second should be same, and the third is your thesis statement when you write that whatever you are going to do with this essay. So this is your complete introduction, and trust me, you just need to learn it very nicely, use it nicely, but make sure, right, you need to learn grammar so that whatever the sentences you are using of your own, that should be perfect without any grammatical error. Okay, now I'll come to second paragraph wherein I'm going to start with my personal opinion. Second is I'm in disagreement to large extent. So I'm in disagreement to large extent means I disagree to large extent in this topic with the aforementioned conception. Aforementioned means something which is discussed above. So I'm talking about this statement here. Conception means statement. It means whatever the above statement is, or whatever this question statement is, I'm going to disagree with this statement, or I disagree. Okay, so instead of again writing the same statement over here, I have used the aforementioned conception so that I won't be repeating it over and over again. Right? Now, multifarious reasons can be discussed to justify my stance. Multifarious means many. Many reasons and of different categories also. So instead of writing many, I would better write multifarious. So multifarious, this is a very beautiful word, you know. Umpteen, numerous, host of, myriad. So if you want to add something else, you can be discussed to justify my stance. Justifies means to explain with logic my opinion. Stance means my viewpoint. It means the straight away these 2 lines says I disagree with the statement and there are many reasons for it. This is a very simple one, right? But I have beautified it in that way. Now the first and foremost, and the first reason is, so when I say the first reason is, instead of that I have written over here the most conspicuous one is noticeable, visible, prominent. So the first is the prominent one. So here what do you need to write? You need to write your first reason. If you disagree, why do you disagree? You need to have a very strong argument for it, and whatever the strong argument you have, you need to explain it with a supportive argument. So in other words means you need to write here your supportive argument. You need to support it. By the time you don't give a supportive argument for the main idea, obviously you are just piling up the ideas, and piling up the ideas will not give you good scores, trust me. So make sure you give the main idea plus the supportive argument, wherein you can explain how this main argument is really connected to your question, the statement. Then after giving one reason, we can have another one also, because in one paragraph generally we give two main idea plus supportive argument additionally. So we'll be writing reason 2 here, and this reason 2 also need to be explained further. Okay, now in third paragraph, my viewpoint can be made evident by adding a few more arguments. My viewpoint can be made evident. Evident means clear, means I'm just going to add a few more reasons, but just instead of writing moreover, I have just written a complete sentence to make it more clear. So my viewpoint can be made evident by adding a few more arguments. Two reasons we have given in the previous paragraph. In this paragraph, I can give third reason. So whatever the third reason over here, the same way in relation to that, in relevancy of that, I need to quote an example over here. Okay, so here I would be writing an example. Okay, so to quote an epitome, epitome means example, the best example. To quote an epitome, I can state an example over here, whatever comes to my mind. What the examples can be, I'll be making a separate video that would be specifically based on example. In this one, I'm not going to talk a lot about example. Okay, but yes, make sure you give an example, and that example must be relevant to the reason that you have stated over here. Then only it's going to be relevant, right? So that much is good enough for third paragraph. Now for fourth paragraph, I can just talk about the opposite side. On the other hand, or at the flip side of the coin, I do have some grounds in favor of the central idea. So I do have some grounds means I do have some strong reasons. So I do have some strong reasons for what? In favor of the central idea. Why in favor? Because previously I disagree. So earlier I disagree, and now I'll be talking about agree. And that agree is again my opinion. When I say I disagree to large extent, means I agree to that smaller extent as well. Then again, first and foremost, I can give first reason for agree here, and I can give second reason of agree here. Initially, I have used the most conspicuous one. Additionally, I didn't use firstly, secondly. So here I can use firstly, secondly. Okay, make sure you don't write firstly and secondly every time in the essay. It should be some different, variety should be given to the examiner, so that examiner would understand, okay, English, right? And another thing, whatever the reason you are writing over here, you need to again explain with a supportive argument as we have given over here. I'm not writing your over and over again. Why? Because now you know these things very well. So that is why I'm not repeating it. Then after this fourth one, we have given both agree, disagree. We have given example. Now it is a time to conclude. For conclusion, we'll be writing to put it in a nutshell. To put it in a nutshell means to conclude. Okay. To conclude, to sum up, I personally believe that then I'll be writing my own opinion here, or basically I would say that what I'll be writing the question statement once again in some modification way. However, the former notion should not be glozed over. Former means whenever we are talking about two things like agree and disagree. Agree and disagree. First we talk about agree, second is disagree. So this is the former and this is later one. So we are now talking about, okay, primarily we are in the favor of the later opinion, so we cannot ignore the former one. So this is the former. Notion means statement. Should not be glozed over. Glozed over means ignored. Okay, so ultimately what happens in conclusion, we go for a balanced approach. We go for a balanced approach means yes, these are the disadvantages, but at the same time we cannot ignore the advantages which are associated with this trend or with the statement. Okay. So I hope this template is very much clear to you, and this template contains 120 words, and since your essay should be of 250 words, 250 the minimum one, basically you can write 270, 280 words. So again, out of these 250, 50% of your essay would be covered with this template. So you need to learn the template, you need to learn it very nicely and practice it again and again, so that once you are writing in your real exam, you do not mix the template with any other template. Because if you are using it nicely, definitely you will be scoring more than 7 bands. But yes, if you do not use it nicely, if you mix and match it with other template, so obviously you won't be scoring good. Okay, so again, if you like this video, do share it with your friends so they can also get advantage of it. Keep learning with me. All the best.